It is my absolute pleasure to chat to the first ever WWE Universal Champion and the current NXT World Champion, Finn Bálor. Thanks for joining me.
Names, thanks very much for having me on, man. It's good to talk to you too.
Now, the last time you were NXT Champion, it was a much different looking NXT. I mean, you were the face of the brand, and at the time, your rivalries with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens are just modern day classics. This time, though, the NXT that you're in, it's a lot different to the one that you initially made your mark on a few years ago. Now, how has this Finn Bálor had to change since the last time you won the championship?
Yeah, as you said, NXT is very different. I feel like in that first run at NXT, it was very much a us against the world mentality of, trying to build a brand and, establish ourselves as stars. And then I feel like, in the last 4 years, NXT has evolved from, very much what was, kind of the beginning of a brand into a very established promotion. And, I think that's thanks to like all the guys that are there now. They've helped evolve it over the last 3 years, the likes of Ciampa, Gargano, Cole, all these guys. So, they've put in a lot of hard work over the last couple of years to kind of develop NXT into what it is now. Obviously, me, from a personal standpoint, I've changed a lot in that time too. And I feel like I'm more well-equipped right now to maybe mentally be the leader of the brand, in the sense of, at the time, you're kind of doing what you're told and kind of trying to please everybody and not necessarily please yourself. So right now I'm in a very good mind state where, I have that self-confidence to, go out and do exactly what I want to do and not worry about, what is good for, the brand, what's good for the marketing department, what's good for the merchandise department. And really, I just want to do what's good for me. So that's definitely something that's going to help make this reign as NXT champion very different than the last reign as NXT champion.
So with the Raw and SmackDown chapters closed for you right now, when you look back at your time on those brands, what were some of your favorite matches?
Yeah, I had a great time at Raw, great time at SmackDown. Had some really great matches. I always loved the matches with Baron Corbin. I know that might kind of come out of kind of left field for a lot of people, but, being in there with him, that was some of my favorite nights. Bobby Lashley, I think I had some great matches with him. Obviously, you can, talk about the AJ match. A lot of people give that, a lot of praise. But, for me, every night getting in the ring was a challenge at Raw and at SmackDown. But I feel like that, how frequently we were doing it and how frequently I was, in the ring against kind of the same set of guys, I wasn't really being pushed to the limits, on that kind of third year. So I felt like it was time to make the move to NXT and kind of get challenged by, a fresh set of opponents in, Gargano, Cole, Riddle, all these guys, Damian Priest. So it was very much a selfish move, in a sense that, I wanted to challenge myself, take myself out of the comfort zone and, feel something new in the ring.
So we saw when Charlotte Flair went back to NXT that she really had to dial it up a few notches to meet the standards of NXT. I mean, you've had similar rejuvenations since returning to the brand. Is there anyone on Raw or SmackDown that you think could benefit from making a move to NXT?
Wow, I think honestly, everyone on the roster, I think, could be at an advantage coming to NXT. And I feel like, it's a different style. It's not something that's completely unfamiliar to WWE superstars, but it's very different. The talents, push themselves every single night to the limits, as they do on Raw and SmackDown. But I feel like there's definitely a very organic feel in NXT. With regards to who would benefit or not, what I would love is to get Randy Orton in NXT for what he could bring to the brand and what, the NXT superstars could learn from him. Someone who, a lot of us look up to in the locker room, someone who is a, incredible professional in and out of the ring, and someone, who's kind of set the bar for what a WWE superstar should be, over the last 10 years. So if we could get Randy down, I think it would take NXT to the next level.
So NXT seems to be filling up with Australians at the present time. We've seen Rhea Ripley reach some amazing heights in the women's division, but an Aussie who's on the rise right now is Bronson Reed. Now, he's been the standout in the past few weeks of NXT. What's your thoughts on him, and would a match down the line be something that you might like to see?
Yeah, he's a big boy, and we got a lot of mutual friends. Over my career, Mikey Nichols, Hartley Jackson. These are two of my best friends. From the dojo days, and obviously he's well connected with those guys. He's really stepped up in the last couple of weeks, and I think it's been a long time coming. He has all the tools to be a future NXT champion, and if it's sooner or later, that will remain to be seen. But he's doing great stuff, and I'm very happy for him.
Now, you did mention the NXT Championship there. This year, we saw Rhea Ripley defend the NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania for the first time ever. We haven't yet seen the NXT Championship on the card at Mania. So would it be one of your goals to maybe have the NXT Championship defended on the grandest stage of them all?
Yeah, of course. I'm all for doing new stuff. I'm all for creating history. But I feel what's important is what's best for NXT and not necessarily what's best for WrestleMania. And we have NXT Takeover at WrestleMania weekend, so I really feel like the NXT title should be defended on that. Whether it's defended the night after at WrestleMania as well, that's something that I'm definitely up for the challenge. If I can go back-to-back nights with back-to-back defenses, that would really establish me as champion. So that remains to be seen. But whatever's best for the title, that's what I'm willing to do.
So it's a very odd time across the world at the moment, with a lot of countries in a state of the unknown of what's coming next. There's also a lot of hardship going on right now. For someone like yourself, whose family is very far away, and there's a lot of Aussies in the WWE right now, and other international talent as well, that's also far from home. How is continuing to wrestle and perform weekly help you both, not just physically, but mentally as well?
Yeah, great point. Obviously there's a lot of hardship in the world right now, and a lot of people going through some terrible, terrible times. And I know the Australian talent are in the same predicament as me, that my family are in Ireland. I haven't seen them since last Christmas. But the fact that WWE have been so constant, and the fact that we've continued to put out shows every single week through quarantine, through this whole pandemic, is credit to WWE. I'm very proud to be involved in the company at this time. I feel like the company's grown from this. We're learning from this. I feel like when the world goes back to normal, or in any kind of normality, I feel like the company will be in a lot stronger position than it was beforehand. And hopefully when that happens, we can all travel again. We can all go home and see our families. But right now, it's very much eyes on the prize. I'm the NXT champion, and that's the most important thing right now.
So before I let you go, you've got a highly decorated career, both inside and outside the WWE, with a lot of accolades on your resume. Before the time comes to hang up the boots, is there anything that's still on the to-do list for Finn Bálor?
I'd like to win a Royal Rumble. I've only been in one Royal Rumble in my career. I lasted, I think, 58 minutes, and came down to like the final four. But yeah, I would love to win a Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania.
So this last one isn't a question, but as an old school NXT fan, when you made your debut, I used to have a few buddies over and we'd watch the WWE Network, and when you came on screen, we lost our absolute minds. We were like, he's here! But we were pointing at the screen, so pumped. So from a personal standpoint, I really want to say we really appreciate all the sacrifice and whatnot you've made to get to the WWE. We love seeing you on our screens, and hopefully that continues for many, many more years to come.
Nims, I'm feeling good. It's been 20 years of doing this. I'm having a blast. Hopefully I can last another 10. Hopefully we can create some more memories, and hopefully I'll get down to Australia soon and see all you guys.
Finn Bálor, thank you again for giving me so much of your time. All the best, and hopefully we'll chat soon.
All right. Cheers, brother.